Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make the top of the rocket, the nose cone itself. What you'll need for this is a piece of card around about 10 centimetres by 10 centimetres square. So I'm going to cut up this paper here. Alright, so it's around about 10 by 10. Alright, now the idea is this is going to be the point up this end here. So what I need to do is to get my card to bend so that it curls nicely towards this point. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the edge of the desk here. Okay, and I hold my card like so. I'll put one finger on this point here where I want it to bend to, and I'm going to hold that bit nice and tight and bring the cardboard around, bending it down as I'm going, and you can sort of see it starting to bend that way. I can get a little bit more forceful with it. I can pull it down and that'll really sort of give it a good shape. See how I'm starting to sort of shape the cardboard now? Okay, the more naturally it falls into that shape, the better the cone is going to be. Here I go again. Okay, how's that looking? That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. I can roll it a little bit more. So I can play with it a little bit there to try and sort of encourage it into a cone shape. You don't really want to force it into a cone shape because you'll end up with a pretty bizarre looking cone. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, next thing I need to do is put a little bit of masking tape on here, down one side. Okay, and we'll just bring him around back onto his, back onto himself there. Okay, so there was no overlap there, so you'll see that there's no overlap. It's just joined back onto the other side. Tear that bit off up there, we don't need that, because any little bits hanging around as our rocket flies up are just going to affect the flight, so we want a nice smooth point. Okay, I'll try and get rid of the, if you sort of look at it from here, I've got, if it's too squashed, you can sort of see the shape that you get. That's not a good shape to have. What we're after is, like, you should, when you look at it from the very point here, you should see a nice circular shape. So I'm just going to keep sort of, and the main villain is this join here. That'll try and sort of sit out a little bit. Okay, that's quite circular. Now, remember the ring that we made a minute ago? Okay, I'm going to place this ring on here. Alright, it's just going to give us a bit of a, see how we go for sizing here. That's going to mark around about where we're going to cut this cone. I'm going to mark that point. See how I'm holding the, oops, actually what's a better idea is to hold that, the join that we made, that's behind the card here, behind the masking tape here, and the join that's behind this masking tape. If I slide those two over each other, I get a much better fit. Okay, it fits quite nicely like that. And bearing in mind, we're only putting it over the top here just so I can mark it. You'll get the idea of where we're heading in just a sec. You might want to get a friend to help you do this bit because it's a little bit tricky. Whoop. Where's my friend? There we go. Okay, now we're not going to cut along that line because if I did, it wouldn't work. At this stage here, I can squash it flat a little bit. Not too flat. I don't really want to fold it here. I can squash it a little bit flat, and I'm just going to trim about a ½ centimetre below that line. I'm going to follow the same shape, but I'm cutting below the line. Okay, I don't want to cut too much off, and this is the reason why. And when I put it back into its shape, okay, this little guy wants to fit underneath him like that. Now, if I'd cut too much off, I think you can guess what would have happened. That comb would have fallen through the middle of here. What if I cut too much off? So that wouldn't be no good. That's actually about right there. That sits quite nice. If I took any more off, I guess you can probably see how it's sort of, how it's the lip. It's got a little bit of a lip here, probably about a 1 or 2 millimeter lip, but it sticks out. You could probably trim it a little tiny bit more, but then you know, you might be ruining it if you did that. Okay, now I need to attach this to that, and the way that you do that is with a glue gun. Notice I've got a piece of paper underneath my glue gun, and that the glue gun's not sitting on the table because that'll just make a mess. Just a little bit of glue around the outside here like this. Luckily I've got another tube ready to go here. Okay, you're going to need to be fairly quick doing this obviously because the hot glue is drying. And place this on here. There we go. Now this is where a lot of people go wrong. And what I should have done in retrospect is actually have this on here before I started.